So we know that Brian Christopher KOHBERG's been arrested. So he's accused. He's accused of murdering Maddie, Kaylee, Zayna, and Ethan on November the 13th. So we haven't really learned much more in the press conference, although what we have learned is he was arrested 2,000 miles away from Idaho University in Pennsylvania, and that he attends Washington University, and he is embarking on a master's in criminal psychology. And we've seen a bit of his questionnaire that he put out as part of his curriculum, as part of his studies toward his final degree. Well, not his final degree, but his next degree. And it's very, very interesting, isn't it? Because you wonder, was he putting this study to glean information because he already had an interest? Did he have an interest and so he wanted to learn more and get some insight? Was he disappointed in the responses that he was getting and thought, well, shit, I'll just do it myself and see what it's like? We know that people who study in certain fields, clearly there are, people that are interested because they're interested in the sickness of their own mind. And we know, you hear, physician, heal thyself sort of thing, right? And we know there's plenty of completely gaga psychologists around. There's one that keeps speaking on these cases and speaking totally out of line because she is totally deranged, allegedly innocent, is deranged. She is the deranged witch of the South, okay, down there on the bay of Galveston, not on the ocean, on the bay, on the mucky bay of Galveston. And she's been up to her usual shenanigans. She doesn't just say, yeah, and I'm not sure what I think about that behavior, but let's wait and see. Oh no, she did a Shane Carey job, I should say, on the neighbor, one of the neighbors of the IDAHO4, picking on his every little facial expression and zooming in on his grin and, analyzing him, thinking she's some sort of qualified behavioralist, and she's just a kook. Sorry, I'm really, really tired. I think I'm going to close this live down as well. I just wanted to say, Brian KOHBERG is arrested. He's accused of the crime. Okay, we don't know. I'd say the police are probably pretty righteous in this, but we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if there's a role. There's discussion that, because of what was said in the press conference, there's obviously gossip that he's asked, was anyone else arrested as well? And if you remember when police were talking about the Elantra and asking for information on the Elantra, they did say person or persons. And can you just go? I'm just going to go. I just want to stick to the topic. Can we not talk about who's cute and Happy New Year? Because it's just an approach, not interested. So just goodbye. It's distracting and unnecessary. So hi JK. Yeah. There's a lot of questions, of course, and we're not going to get the answers that people want. And I think this sad and brutal case. It's highlighted, as if we didn't need more of a spotlight on it, it's highlighted just how impatient and entitled members of the public are. You know, these could be YouTubers, people on Reddit, you know, viewers and commentators alike. There's just no respect for law enforcement. There's no patience. Now, waiting 6 years for a result in Delphi, I mean, that has been an act of faith and patience. That has just been an exercise in those things. Extraordinarily so for the members of the families and for the townsfolk of Delphi, and, you know, probably for the investigators. I mean, that was painful, painstaking, and just possibly an investigation that focused too much on all these tentacles and not on just doing police work and solving the crime. And for people to announce finally an arrest in the Moscow murders is just so unaware. It's so I can't think of my words now. I'm too tired. I'm sleep deprived at the moment. You can probably hear. I shouldn't be doing this now. But, you know, it's repulsive that people will say finally an arrest. Unless someone is nabbed right there in the act or seen at the time and chased, there's a chase and they're nabbed right then and there. 6 weeks is an incredible result. I am doubtful, unless someone has been wary of this guy from the start, has suspected him of all sorts of creepy crimes at Washoe University. You know, I doubt that it's a tip. I'd say it's going to be police work that has gotten this result. Six weeks is an amazing result. It's incredible. And, you know, they've got so much ahead of them because now, you know, they really have to gather the information. And, yeah, they will need to be taking tips now because they will have to piece it all together. They'll want to know, his planning and where he went and when, won't he, Johnny? Criticizing law enforcement, you know, unless you can see that they are being brutal or openly inept, or, you know, why do we make their job harder? I'm gonna go, JK, because I'm so tired I can barely speak. I just can't believe that people think that this has been a long time coming. Yeah, do you think, Johnny, do you think that there is someone else involved? Is that just gossip? Because, of course, you know, it's like people instantly making Maddie's OnlyFans page a fake OnlyFans page. You know, they've made fake Twitter accounts and other social media accounts for this guy, BRYAN. I mean, these are the sick minds. You know, we're calling these perpetrators psychopaths, but the psychopaths are the ones that are making, you know, OnlyFans pages for Maddie and calling the police inept when, you know, and saying that a cop that is newish to the role is a rookie when they know nothing about his experience, where he's been before, what qualifications he has, simply because he might have been in the job for a couple of years. Look at the result that he's got. It's brilliant. And, you know, they can't be that they're not found wanting at all. I just hope that they're going to get a conviction. Yeah. The rumors are, okay, well, it's not rumor that he is from a neighboring university. But I saw something on Kit's channel saying that he had been a security guard at Washington State University. So on campus, you have security guards clearly that patrol, but also it makes me wonder if he worked as security in the dorms, letting students in and out. Sick people that commit these violent crimes, they put themselves into these positions where, they have access, where they have a little bit of power, where they're in positions of trust. So, they want to get hold of uniforms and badges and keys. They want access, right? And Kit was reading something out where, he'd held that position but had been sacked. You wonder, why was he sacked? Did he just breach some sort of basic rule? That was a sort of small misdemeanor, or did he do something revoltingly inappropriate that should have been investigated further? It's now your mind just runs away. I mean, he is the alleged killer. He's been arrested. He's a suspect still. He's an arrested person. He isn't convicted. I think we've got to be very, very careful with what we say around that. But, now all the excellent web sleuths will be looking into every detail of this person's life and his connections, who he knew, because there's also the allegations that his brother lives in Moscow and is a neighbor of 1122. And that's super interesting, because the house itself was such a target. If you were thinking of committing this type of crime, if you knew of that house, it would be, it'd be that exactly what you're looking for. There would be like a spotlight shining down on it saying, pick me, pick me. So how has he chosen this house? Well, he goes to school only 8. And see, this person says that he's, this vlogger, right? Comes on and he says, no, I'm a friend of your channel. But they show their real colors, don't they? Very quickly when you call them out for being douchebags who just want to come into live streams and basically promote themselves and their channels in a way. I think, you look at them, they've got, you look at their content, if they've got any, and it's nothing to do with true crime and that sort of thing. Yeah. Sorry, I'm half asleep, aren't I, JK? I was up way too early when I saw about this. I should have gone back to sleep before the press conference. I'm probably going to get a migraine. So I won't keep this live up because it's a nothing burger. I do have some things I want to say about this situation, but I'll probably construct a video for later after work and do it when I'm awake. But are you mind blown? I can't get over it. I think it's absolutely thrilling. I think we need to be very measured, though, because we don't know the situation. I feel like it's very possible he, I mean, it just brings that date into it just makes all the conspiracy theories about the date come to fruition, really, because November the 13th is when the Amityville it's when was it Amityville murders happened. It's when a lot of terrible crimes have been committed. People keep comparing him to Bundy. I mean, he's got these close together little eyes like Bundy, but his crime is not like Bundy. Bundy committed a spree. When he committed 4 people in a university town, 2 of them, I think, were in a sorority, and then he committed another murder and then another. He had broken out of prison and he was on a spree, and it was an entirely different thing. And it was kind of like he wanted to get a few more violent acts in, because he assumed quite rightly that he was going to be chased down and rearrested. Yeah, nothing like Bundy whatsoever. These killings are more like the scream, thrill kill, copycat killers who went to a house, 2 high school students, and they just wanted to have the experience of murder, and they picked one of their friends, a very kind, sweet girl who thought these boys were at least acquaintances, friends at the high school. They knew that she was going to be staying at an auntie's house, babysitting the house sitting, and they're without, adult supervision. So I think she had a friend stay with her at first, and they got creeped out, and the friend left, and the friend begged her to go, just leave with her. Don't worry about looking after the house. It was just an offer that you can stay there by the aunt and uncle, feel a bit grown up. Why they would say, do you want to come and stay around at the house with your friends, maybe as an independence thing, to have some social time away from her own parents, I guess, maybe. The friend got spooked. Maybe they heard something outside. I can't remember if she heard the people outside, these kids outside, and she left. And then what these 2 students did, these boys, they cut the power and they went inside the house and they slaughtered her. And they filmed themselves on the way there and on the way back, and they made a film prior to that as well about what they were going to do. It's just utterly repulsive. People are just so disconnected. And, I think we're so bereft of experiences. I think with COVID lockdowns and everything, people, they really haven't lived a lot over the last few years in the way that they might have. Right or wrong with the lockdowns and masks, etc., whatever you think of that, I think it was debilitating. I think we should be expecting all these psychological A-bombs going off. Look what's happened to a lot of communities, like the young people and trans community with their peer groups, and all the way people have been living online and not in real life, and they're just losing touch with reality. And I think people are desperate for experience. They feel so dead inside, so flatline, and there's no empathy and compassion. Sorry, I'm just wanking on now. I'm not saying anything. I should go. This sucks. That they will turn to murder because they want their lives to be lives of experience and feeling and emotion. They need to do it. Hey, Yeoman. Yeah. Yeah, and they just think that this is an okay thing. They justify it in their mind that yeah, that killing's all right. What do you think, Yeoman? Pretty amazing stuff, right? With law enforcement, you know. Yeah, I'm not saying anything. I'm feel dead. I'm brain dead right now. I'm a zombie. Yeah. But you know, I just can't believe that I just can't believe that people will say that finally there's a